this on a regular basis now. I'm training, hopefully she'll pick up on it, my daughter, to do this on a daily basis, is gratefulness. And being grateful for what we have. And really focusing on, when you feel like you're in lack, is what do I have? And, I have my health, or maybe I don't, but I have friends, I have good food, I'm not hungry. And so really focusing. So my daughter and I, every evening before we go to bed, I have her tell me 3 things she's thankful for the day. Mm-hmm. However, there's always food involved with the things she's thankful for, which
I think that would be my husband's thing. Would be like,
always. I love that I got to drink
with eating
food. An extra can of sparkling water today. Yeah. I'm like, Jade, really?
I don't understand why these are.
I don't know. It's Instagram. And so
it's a sign. They are loud. Hey, children, can you guys go into the back room, please?
So doing that, and so when we think of gratefulness, it does shift our minds.
It does.
Our happy hormones go up, oxytocin.
Mm-hmm.
There's other things that can increase oxytocin. We can talk about some other times. Hugging.
Yes.
Hugging.
So even with that, having an attitude of gratitude really is
it's more than important.
It is more than important. It rhymes and it sounds good and all those things, but it is so important in your everyday life as far as because we're not made to be in fight and flight all the time. So your fight or flight, cortisol, all of that hormone is not meant to just be surging through our body, and stress response elicits that cortisol increase. So we want to make sure that we have downtime, and you have to plan that in, many people, in your life, so that you can rest and digest, right? And because that is also important. And when you're feeling stressed, looking at the bright side of things, looking at what you're grateful for. I know those things sound cliche, but it makes a huge difference. And sometimes it just takes journaling, writing down those things that you're grateful for, so that you can take a look at it and actually see it down on paper.
And sometimes even if we don't feel it, making a discipline that's simple to follow. Mm-hmm. Like I had, in my previous job, I had a long commute to work. And so I made for me, it was a time to listen to praise music and worship. And instead of, I was not allowed to be on any phone calls. I just made that discipline for myself, my own rule. And at first, some days it was like, I don't really feel like I need to do this and that, but it started shifting my brain to start thinking about what I'm grateful for before the day really got started.
Right.
And it shifted my whole perspective for the whole day. So to me, that's one of the most important things for self-care and soul care and loving ourselves, is really having gratitude, because in that, we can probably pull up literature and things that show, or in scientific journals that show how our physiology can shift because of that too. We might just be done with Instagram tonight. and so that. But
Hi, Portia.
Hi, Portia. But yes, so it's different for people, right? Like, so Portia mentioned here, journaling has always, and so if you're a writer, and journaling helps me, but I don't have the discipline or the time sometimes to sit and journal what I want to do. So sometimes I will take my notepad on my phone and I will talk into it, and I will have these little notes that I can refer back. Yes, too.
That's a really good idea.
Even when I'm venting, I do that, and then I look back and I'm like, oh, let me delete that one.
That's funny.
And one of the things that's important to me is really trying to be true to ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. And how do we do that? Sometimes we have to take a job or do things that we don't want to do, but don't compromise your integrity, don't compromise yourself. And I just had a conversation with a friend about a reaction I had because I was afraid I was abandoning myself in a certain situation. But really, what is your true purpose? What is really genuine about you? And don't let anybody else tell you that you have to be a certain way. I'm not talking about behaviors that are detrimental. Those are things that we should change. But I'm talking about just at the core of you. What do you like? What are you attracted to? What resonates with you?
Yeah, your values, those types of things. What your core values are so important. And if those things are being stomped on, that is a big piece of
Yes.
you not being happy. You know, if you
Yes.
don't feel like your
Being
core
heard,
values
or
are
you're
being are being respected, that can bring a lot of resentment forward for different things. So even there's different exercises that you can do, you know, to even figure out, you know, what are my core values and those different types of things. You know, I'm a health and wellness coach as well, and those are some of the things, you know, that coaches can help you with. But those are also things that you literally can do on your own.
Yes.
Right? That
Yes.
you can, you know, you can Google it, look it up, figure it out, you know, write it down, study it, and say, okay, these are the things that are at my core of what I want to work towards. And even then, you know, still getting a good coach that can help you to work towards some different goals that are going to help you to honor those values is also, you know, super duper helpful and important, especially in this day and time with so much going on and so much stress. Because
it keeps you focused
and centered. So many of my moms have, you know, issues, and a lot of it is, you know, stress. And we were talking about that earlier today.
And we'll probably revisit that again, because sometimes it takes few times for people to really hear and say, what can I do about that? One of the things too that I think that goes along with focus and what we were talking about connecting is having people to connect with. And it doesn't have to be 50 people. It can be one person that you can go to, that you can vent to, that you can talk to, that knows you. Those are really, really, it's important. I mean, if you don't have a really good friend or a mentor or something that's really important for us to be able to connect with.
And I really don't think that it should be 50 different people, right?
I agree.
I feel like a lot of people, like our circles are too big, you know.
Yes.
You should have your core people, right? We're talking about your core values, but you should also have your core people. And everybody should not be privy to your core information. You know, if you're married, then that's your spouse should be, you know, that person. But you can have a couple of people outside of that, but you don't need a bunch of people knowing your business and all of those different types of things, because that can create more
tension. And you want people that have your best interests, that have some of those same, that resonates with your values and cores. Because if they don't, you know, if you're married and you're struggling with an issue with your spouse, and you want a friend to kind of bounce and kind of talk things through with, if they don't value marriage, that's not going to work for you.
Right.
So you want somebody that is going to be for you in every aspect, and having those connections. There's something called the blue zones. It's areas in the world where they have the highest centenarians, which are people that live to be 100. And so one of the things they talked about, it is a great book to look at what makes people live long and healthy. And the self-care and that we're having is a part of that, but they don't name it self-care, but one of it is a sense of purpose, and a sense of purpose in a community.
Oh wow, yeah.
And it's very important.
And during right now, with everybody being social distance, it's hard to have that sense of community, you know, and I feel like I see a lot of that, you know, in my practice, because you have these moms that, of course, you don't want to, it's almost like we lose connection with our grandparents, with, you know, the extended family members, because you don't want to expose them, right? And so then the burden of a family is falling squarely on, you know, that new mom, where that term, it takes a village, that's a true term. It's very, very helpful when you have community, you know, to be able to help you. So in a time where we are, you know, having to be isolated, it brings up more stressful situations where, you know, we hear that abuse is, you know, higher, and child abuse and
depression is higher,
and depression and those types of things.
Suicides are higher.
So we want to talk about some different things that you can do, right? Because we may not be able to go out, you know, and get a pedicure. And to me, those things are
part
good,
of it, but that's not the truth.
Yes, that's not the true thing. You know, getting your spirituality is very, very important, and catering to that is extremely helpful during this time, right? Because God is always with you and present. And even though, you know, those are the things when we're talking about getting back down to your foundation, and being able to have something to pull on when you can't pull on family. And so those types of things, journaling, these are things that don't cost, any money. You know what I mean?
You already have.
Yeah. Even when you don't feel like it, forcing that smile on your face. You know what I mean? If you put a smile on your face, your body doesn't, it is scientifically, there's research that shows that your body cannot tell the difference between a fake laugh and a real laugh. You know what I mean? So, start laughing, for whatever reason. And that's super.
Have fun.
Yeah. And have fun, have fun, make fun of yourself, make fun of your kids.
Don't take yourself too serious.
They're hilarious.
Her kids are hilarious.
They are. They're always
Mine are
doing
too.
something
If you
goofy.
saw in the conversations I have, oh my gosh.
Yes,
It's scary and
it's fun.
funny.
You gotta
And
have fun.
You have to have fun. And I've known people that they don't have a lot of fun, and after a while you're thinking like, why? Like it's we were meant to laugh and have fun.
We are.
And so I want to say,
those endorphins are help.
When is the last time you had like a belly? We have
all the belly
all
laughs.
the time. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous how much
this phone is ridiculous. Yay!
These phones are ridiculous.
I keep reaching because the phone keeps going dim and it is driving me up the wall. But
yes.
I am not gonna let y'all go. I will keep tapping
on.
it. I'm gonna keep doing
I will say that the one thing that I will say with Montika, like were goofy. We were doing a Marco Polo with your husband last weekend.
Oh my goodness, yes, because he is silly.
But it's fun because it's just we get to be goofy and just be
and do
silly.
videos. I was doing I don't know if y'all, for those of you that follow me, I discovered Snapchat because I'm silly.
I don't follow you.
No,
on
it wasn't Snapchat. It was TikTok. It was my goodness.
I don't follow you on TikTok either.
I don't follow anybody. I got on TikTok and my daughter was like, "Do not do A, B, C, and D," and I was like, "What are all the young people?"
You did A, B, C, and D.
Yes, I did all of the things. She was like, and my husband was like, "You're making yourself look like an old person." I was like, "I'm having fun. Like this is so cool." So I had like flames coming out of my hands.
I need to watch that.
I did. I had flames coming out of my hands, and I was like, "Look at my pen!" Woo! So you gotta have fun. Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty ridiculous, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
so,
and that's the other thing
matters.
too is I think there is a level of caring what people think about you in a genuine sense of the term. Like I want people to like me because how I treat people, but not to worry about what people think about. Oh, am I too fat, too skinny? Am I tall? Do I look this way? We all do that, and then we can be so consumed with that, and that is actually self-sabotage when we're so consumed with what other people think about us. I'm not talking about we should carry ourselves respectfully, but I'm just saying, like I don't know, we just care too much about what other people think, and so that's something else to think about as well. But yes, having fun, and even having fun, we don't have enough fun, I don't think. We have a lot of fun.
No. Find ways to have fun. Watching us is fun because we make each other laugh. Yeah.
It'll probably get even better and
it's
better.
It's going to be better because we're
getting some new technology, I think.
We are getting new technology. So we won't be up here tapping screens the entire time. So yeah. It's going to be good. Okay. So let's go back to
having fun, focusing, mindfulness, being, but because you have to be centered first, and then being able to, gratefulness. The other one is being able to rest and relax appropriately. And we just talked about this, like getting enough sleep.
Yes.
But also is really relaxing. So having fun. So when you take a vacation, right, you work up and you do this. And if it's a vacation, I love hiking and I love doing the things. But if that's all you're doing and you're not taking that time to just relax and enjoy each other and just wind down.
Yeah, because sometimes I haven't been on vacation recently, but you take a vacation, especially if you go on a trip and you come back and you have to take a vacation from your vacation because you did so much. You're trying to squeeze,
And when you and then the other thing
squeeze it all in and then get back and then jump back into work, and you have never given yourself the opportunity, to actually rest. And you don't have to have a vacation to be able to rest, right? If you have a bathtub, get in there. You know what I mean? Turn on some warm water. You can get some Epsom salts from wherever. Everybody sells them: Walmart, Target, natural grocers.
Turn out the lights.
Get some candles. And put some Epsom salts all it is magnesium, and magnesium is a vasodilator and a muscle relaxer.
So that means vasodilating means
Oh.
it opens up your your blood flow, and it helps you relax.
Yes, so you get in there.
And it does so many other things.
Many other things. It's great stuff. And so you can get in there, get in your water, sit there, and be quiet.
Now, I will say, when you have children,
they're gonna stick their fingers under the door.
What are you doing in
Mom,
there?
Can't come in, Mom, because
they didn't want to have anything to do with you before.
Bathe. We can't use the bathroom. No. We can't
lock myself in the shower.
Anything with.
I lock myself in the shower.
What?
Because
what?
Done taking a shower.
I was like, what? I'm so confused.
Taking a shower. Because Jade, she'll be like looking for me, and I'm like, hey. But I'll tell her now, usually.
I have locks on our doors, and my 6-year-old, they're not the kind of locks that you need keys for. So I would say it's been about a year, but she figured out that she could take her fingernail. And so she just unlocks the door and lets herself in. And I'm like, I had the door locked for her. Well, look, Mom, I know how to open it. Look at my pinky. And I'm like, I'm going to cut that pinky nail off so you can't get in here.
So then you might have to get a real lock.
I do need a real lock.
And that's the one thing is when you have, if it's not, so there's two things. If you're more solitary and you're by yourself, making sure you're connecting and what, you may have enough alone time and downtime, so you might need to connect more. But for someone like you or me, and you even more so because you have more children and a husband, I'm all solo over here and, with a little girl that is my mini me and too many me's, and just being able to step away from that without appropriately and maybe decompressing. So Montique and I will sometimes, so our Friday nights actually a lot of it is some decompression time because
it is.
Our kids will play together, and guess what? They don't bother us so much.
No, but they're loud.
They are loud.
They are
kids, though.
And we thank you guys for not being like, I ain't watching that because them loud kids. But it's real life, right? And so even with that being said, one of the things that I love to get my moms to do, if you're having a problem, if your milk's not letting down, you're super stressed. A lot of times mom's like, I don't understand. My breasts are full of milk and I put this baby to the breast and I can't get anything. And then as soon as they're away, then I'm leaking all over the place. And a lot of times that, again, is stress, right? Because oxytocin is the milk ejection hormone. It's the love hormone. It also causes milk to come out. That is what it's for. So a lot of times if we can get you into, let's say, the bathtub, like I said, and don't get in the bathtub with your baby if you don't have your partner with you, okay? And when I say partner, it could be your grandma, your mama, your husband, your friend, somebody that can, because when babies are wet, they're slippery little suckers. And I know that because when I was a new mom, I tried to, I'm just like, oh, Jesus, this thing, is moving around. And so I had to, this was agape, this is 14 years ago. I was like, how am I get out of the tub with her? And so the bath mat is there. And so I'm like, so I had to lay my baby. And then I felt horrible. I'm laying her down on the bath mat. And she's, looking at me like, what are you doing? And I'm trying to get out of the water. So it's much easier if you have somebody that can help you, that you can hand your baby to, or they can hand you the baby when you get in, and relax. Yes. So you and that babies love to be in the bathtub. They love that feeling. You guys can relax. And a lot of times if a baby won't nurse, a lot of them will nurse when you get in the tub with them. And some people call that rebirthing, co-bathing, however you want to call it. But it is an excellent practice that you can do with your baby or without your baby if you're fortunate enough to be able to get away from your baby. And if you don't have kids or you're older, because we have a lot of older clients, you just get in the tub by yourself, and light some candles. And,
and there's different things. So light some candles. If that's not feasible or enjoyable, we're saying these things to give suggestions, but even massages, therapeutic massages, if you have a partner, being able to, give each other massages is nice. If you don't, go get a massage. It's a downtime. Have that.
Go get a couples massage.
Go get a couples massage.
So then they can teach them how to massage you. That's what's up.
At Longevity, they have the isolation tanks, so that might be something.
And they have float. They have the float
tanks,
and the float tanks are filled with magnesium. So what we're talking about, like to the millionth power at longevity. It is amazing.
Yes.
So those are some different things that you can do, you know,
And
from
yes,
expensive down to free, or, you know,
just
a couple of dollars for some Epsom salts. So yeah, those type. Well, here's my mini.
Here's our relaxation person.
Okay. Hi, can you go, girl.
The other thing too, and just some things is move, you know, some basic things, and we're not going to get into it, but of course, making sure you feed yourself well, making sure you are moving, and it doesn't have to be traditional exercise, but movement is important, not just sitting around.
It's so important,
and that's a purpose. There's a connection to the brain. There's a connection to all that. I feel the
even
best
just
when
stretching
I'm moving
too.
Yes, even just stretching
is so important. You don't
There's
have to be doing
proprioceptors that are in those joints and those muscles, and so it's great stuff. And so those are things. The one thing too is that any type of thing that makes you feel good is good, as long as it's not I don't want it to be an addiction. I don't want it. So it's not this, just do whatever feels good. But there has to be this core of feeling good about yourself, feeling good about what you're doing,
right? And so
staying
many
true
people
to yourself
don't know how bad they feel until they feel good.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like, I've had, you know, several clients that I've worked with, and they're like, I didn't realize that I was having pain until, like, I started doing gut healing and these different... Yes. And then all of a sudden it's gone, and they're like, oh my God.
This is the most common, too, is...
Or inflammation.
I'm just getting old. And it's like, and they're 40 years old, and I'm thinking, what are you saying about me? Because most of the time I feel pretty good.
Don't tell me you're old. I had Erin, she's a gerontologist. She was like, I don't want anybody telling me that they're old until you're like 85.
That's what I tell my patients. I've moved it up to 90.
Yes. You know what I mean? Like, for real. We should be moving around. We should be doing things. Just because you're aging does not mean that you should be sick and in pain. That's not how that goes.
And, you know, pain and sickness are things that we do experience, but those are things that are not supposed to stay around. Those are, you know, we can have seasons of it, short seasons of it, but there's always an answer to what's going on. But I think too is when you do this, even if it doesn't feel right, a little bit at a time, you want to create, you know, you're becoming more of yourself, and you're creating time and margin for if you do have stress, you can handle that better. I mean, but I see this all the time. It is related to stress, but not taking care of ourselves. I have this conversation with somebody almost every day about taking care of yourself, and you know, some of us will go through, like right now with you planning all the things with the lift, it's a little bit harder to take care of yourself than it is a lot than it is maybe on a regular time.
Yes.
But
is this a full-time job on top of my full-time job?
But the goal would be, okay, before the lift comes every year, when Montika really works hard on the lift every year, you know, maybe having some margin so that you can breathe, or schedule in time to have a glass of wine with a friend, or
I need to schedule all kinds of
or
time.
A walk. So we've went on a walk around the clinic, and when it's outside,
I've been forcing myself.
So this is the other thing that helps with self-care is spending the time outdoors, and even if you don't like outdoors. So I watched a little blurb of a documentary where it said it took 36 hours, so 3 days, for your brain waves to change from being outside. And so it's important to be outside and disconnect from a phone, disconnect from all of those things.
Yep.
We may not be able to do it in this week, but if we know that, like after the lift, maybe you and Chris should
even
go.
If you just get outside.
Get outside.
Barefoot. Morning sun changes your brain.
Yes.
So, like, getting out in the morning, walking outside, and we talked about this, it's been a minute, but talking about grounding, you know, get outside. Barefoot, feet in some grass, you know, and let that sunshine get into your eyeballs.
It makes a difference. It really makes.
It literally changes your mind.
When we're saying these things, these are things that it's documented as research, but these are things that both of us have done. Yes. And I will tell you that if you asked me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was, oh my gosh. I mean, I'm so much more balanced now. I'm healthier now because I was burning the candle at both ends and
Yes.
not really knowing. I was just going, I ran myself, not taking care of myself. And so what that has cost me, even though it doesn't cost me, I mean, I was able to recover mostly, but it cost me some of my health. And so this is what I say. And once you get to a certain point, it's really hard. It's harder to recover than it is to maintain. So,
and I would say even for me right now, you know, I basically work when I was a veterinary nurse, I worked nights. And then when I became a people nurse, I worked nights. So I've been working nights for 20 years.
And it's really not healthy.
No. So like me, I have been off nights since October of 2018. And I still, like my clock is still, I mean, it takes time to rebuild
and that
and
cortisol,
reset.
circadian rhythms.
Yes,
and,
all of that.
And a lot of that too.
And adrenal fatigue and all the things. Like I look at myself and I'm like, man, I know I got plenty of sleep and I'm doing all these things. And of course, you know, we're all a work in progress. And even though I know all of the things to do, it is not easy to do all of the things. Right? No.
Well, we're not really created.
I didn't put my feet on the ground today because I got up and was in a hurry and running. Yes. I got sunshine in my eyeballs because I had to go outside.
And so that's a good thing that you brought up is like, so when I have these days where it's just this and this and this, and I can't do all the 5 things that I normally like to do, well, you find the one that is most important or find one that you still do it. So, you know, and you have to really train yourself and your brain to say what is most important. My centering, my health is the most important. And so even if in the morning you couldn't go, I mean, Montique has kids, you're running, you're taking care of kids, you're running here, you're running around to see patients, you're going here, you know, your day can start off from here to here, but you have to take time for yourself, even if it's a 10-minute cat-cow breathing, putting your feet on the ground, laying out.
Cat-cow.
Like yoga, like stretching your spine.
Girl, I know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry.
You got to tell them what cat and
cat-cow is stretching.
Oh.
So I have a ball in my office.
I didn't know what she was talking about.
It could have been anything.
It's cat-cow. Moo. Like, does that mean moo in and out or something? I don't know. So.
But I even have like an exercise ball that I sit on. I
do that.
And I also lay on it and stretch and move. And
that's a good idea. I should do that at work.
Yes.
I should.
Yes.
So for me, you know, it's been difficult. Like my excuse button is I don't ever have time, which I feel like I don't. But it takes so much time to drive to the gym that I like, to take the class that I want to take from the yoga, what does Reka teach? Zumba, from the Zumba person that I like, and now we got COVID and all of the things. So I'm like, you know, I still have to figure out how to get this in. So I've been like, if I have 10-15 minutes in between something or before lunch, you know, I'll do some squats, I'll do some push-ups and get it in. And I've been actually doing pretty good with that.
And consistency is important. So when you put yourself as a priority.
When I started doing push-ups, I could do 3. I could do 10 now. Yay me.
That's big though.
That's big for me.
It really is.
And that's not like, you know, modified push-ups, real push-ups. Like I'm doing these things. I'm so proud of myself.
And it is. It just takes that consistency of doing it. And that's the thing with self-love is, you know, and so some of you guys may not resonate with scripture, and that's okay. But for me, one of the things that I look at self-love is, you know, God loves me first, so I'm able to love. And then one of the scriptures says, you know, you need to love your neighbor as yourself, right? These commandments. And in my opinion, how do I love someone else if I can't love myself first? How do I, you know, exude gratefulness and graciousness and love and mercy and all of those things if I don't receive them and have them myself? And so that is where I started. And then really just another thing that was a big changer for me, because I have been in times where I'm like, you know, I don't have time, I don't care, I just got to get from here to here, I'm in survival mode. But giving that time for gratefulness and is it really important. Like that's what I do. My prayer time or worship time in the morning is the most important for me.
And being grateful, being grateful to God, and knowing, you know, a lot of times only that void of God's love for you.
Yes.
You know, it fills that space. You know what I mean?
And overflows it.
Yeah, and it's great. So, you know, resting,
which is sleep,
which includes sleep
relaxing
and things.
Focusing. What are you focusing your mind on?
Mm-hmm.
And then movement doesn't have to be get up to the gym exercise all the time. Something.
Move, stretch, bend over.
Do some jumping jacks, bend overs.
Yes.
Get up and down off the ground 5 times. I have told my patients to do
that's
that.
a good one too.
It is. It'll get your heart rate up. I'll show you. Oh, I have to show you.
I know how to do that. You showed me already.
Oh yeah, see.
Yes, I get up off the ground very well. But yeah, do those things. Play with your kids. You know what I mean? Crawl on the floor.
Fun.
Have
Do
some fun.
goofy stuff.
Yes, all those things. Yeah. You know, have a dance party with your children.
We're getting ready to do that, I think.
Yes.
We'd like to, there's a little area over here we like to have a dance party.
Yeah, have a dance party.
It's lots of fun.
And move and have fun and laugh, you know, and do all
and enjoy each other.
Yes, do all the things that you don't think, you know, that you wouldn't do in public. Just do them at home, because then you don't have to. If you are a person that is super concerned about, you know, what other people think about you, then
do it in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, dance at home. It's okay.
Yes, it's okay.
It's fun.
It doesn't matter if you can dance or not either. You just move your body.
Yes, move your body. So those things, speaking of moving your body, we are getting ready to sign off, but you will be able to move your body with us at the lift and with Charlie Red and Full Flavor Kings
in 3 weeks from tomorrow.
3 weeks from tomorrow. Super fun. And
you
will be able to
3 weeks.
3. Yeah, but you'll be able to enjoy that music, enjoy the raffle gifts, all of the things streaming live. We'll have shorts, we'll have interviews with all of the different providers. It is going to be a great time and an epic time, and we're super duper excited about it, and we can't wait for everyone to join. If you're going to join us online, again, please register, say you're coming, get your tickets, and I hope that we'll see you then. And Miss Portia, hopefully you'll get to come out and see us, because every time you come, you always win something. So,
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't ever win anything.
You gotta come out so that you can snag you some raffle gifts.
And with those cute babies she's got.
Those cute babies.
And her cute grandbaby.
Oh, I think it cut off.
Oh, that one.
Lost that one.
Okay. Well, see you guys next week.
Yay. We'll see y'all next week, everybody. Happy Friday. Was that one mine?
No, I didn't even end that one. Look. There we go. This one. Finish. That one is, no, this one's mine.